Let me make sure. Let's see. Say something real quick.
Hello, are we recording?
We are recording. Hello.
Welcome to the Not All Here podcast with your hosts,
Whoa,
JRB the producer and Easy Elliott.
Easy Elliott. That's so funny.
We have a great podcast for you guys this evening.
this afternoon, morning, whatever time you listen.
We
to
hope
it.
you had a great weekend.
We hope that you guys did not party too hard.
I'm trying to think of what you say.
Super Bowl. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, Super Bowl Sunday, man.
Yeah, we're recording this on the day of February 7th, which is Super Bowl Sunday.
We could talk about the Super Bowl, but when people hear this, it's going to be...
I mean, we can predict and people can be like, you guys, you're wrong. You lost.
Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't know if they're going to win.
You congratulate the Buccaneers.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. So one of us is right. Yep. Okay. Congratulations to the champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You got drunk, bro?
No, I feel like that's how everybody in Florida is. Because the Super Bowl's in Florida.
Yeah.
It's like really, really wild. And shit's open down there. Nothing's closed. Nobody's wearing any masks.
Just like Atlanta.
But I feel like it's not... Like, Atlanta is not Florida, if that makes sense.
Florida's the tropical Atlanta?
Bro, everybody that talks about, like, on podcasts when they go down to Florida, like, comedian stuff, they're like, nobody's wearing masks. Like, not one person. People laugh at you if you're wearing a mask.
Dang.
They make fun of you. They're like, ha, 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 look at this dumb person.
Whole different world.
It's a whole different world. But, I mean, hey, it's Florida. What you expect. But anyway, welcome to the Not All Here podcast.
Hey!
We hope, like you said, like Jetty said earlier, we hope that you guys had a great weekend. You got to chill. Hopefully, nobody caught COVID. Everybody was just, chilling and vibing out for the weekend in this new year, 2021. This is actually
Happy New Year.
Happy New We're like a month late. Happy New Year, 2021. We're counting up. And so this is like the year that they count up 2021. Get it?
You count up every year.
No, but I'm saying like a sequence. It's in a sequence.
Every year's in a sequence.
Oh, it is, ain't it?
What do you mean?
Well, now it's going to, like, when 2022... never mind. This makes no fucking sense. I was going to... It's kind of like 1, 2, 3... 20, you're counting up by 1, 20, 21, but then when you do 2022, you're only it's not 1, 2, 3 anymore. Anyway, it's not a sequence anyway, or it's a different one. But anyway,
it's
whatever.
A sequence.
All right, let's just start the podcast over. I sound so dumb right now. But no, man, I wanted to actually start off the podcast on a topic that's going to go into a little bit into some, I guess you could say, like, taboos.
You're starting it in a weird place today, bro.
We're starting in a very weird place. So I'm going to bring up this story first because this story is actually not super old, but it like came out like a week or 2 or 3 maybe in January. It's about this actor named Armie Hammer, and basically
That's
he's
such
like,
a weird name.
It is. What's funny is I don't quote me if this is true or not, but I've heard this from some other people who are saying that his name Armie Hammer, his dad, like their family name or whatever, people always associated them with the baking soda.
Really?
Armie Hammer. And he said that I think their family's very wealthy because they were supposedly his dad got so annoyed to the point to where, like, I think one day he just bought out that company.
What?
And now
this sounds like a fable.
I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say when he was born he had really big arms. So they were like, "Look at that boy! That boy's Armie.
Armie, he got that Armie Hammer. Like
he got them big arms.
A baby with some big ass arms." But anyway, no. The topic on it is this actor. He's been getting dropped by like a bunch of shows, a bunch of like movies he was in, or like trying to get into. They're kind of dropping him because this anonymous person decided to leak some DMs that they had between them and the actor. And so the DMs goes into like this weird, let me not say weird because people can be like, you're shaming, whatever.
Oh, you can say weird.
This not unpopular, unnormal, I don't know, fantasy that this dude is into. He's into a cannibalism fantasy. So he's talking about, he has this, I guess, sexual fantasy, or just fantasy where he basically eats the person. So in this thread of messages, I think it was on Instagram, they were DMing It was him and this girl who he was like, oh, I want to do this. I can't wait to like get your heart out and just eat it in front of you. Ooh. And like just like a lot of wild shit.
Hannibal style,
basically. And like that's like his kink. That's like his thing. And I remember when it first came out, I was listening to other people, like, because at first I was like, who the fuck is Armie Hammer? I've never heard of him, or Armie Hammer or whatever. And then people started to bring up the thing of like, this is actually kind of weird and unfair to the guy, because one, the woman or whoever the person shared the DMs decided to remain anonymous. And in the thread, it looks like they're having a back and forth of they're both, willing and participating in this fantasy, so to speak.
Right.
And so the person decided not to reveal themselves kind of feels like, well, who, like, what's your stake in this? Why are you, putting this out there? Like, if this is just the dude's fantasy, it's just his fantasy. This is what he's into. But saying that brings into the topic of like one of the big ones that we're going to talk about is the idea of, what's the limit? What's that line of like, okay, when people are into like certain kinks or certain things versus like, okay, where's the line where you go, that's that person's thing, that's what they're into, versus like, hey, we need to do something about this person. Because once this came out, he got dropped and like people were talking bad about him and saying like, wow, this dude's weird and like all these different things. And I know I feel I'm kind of like in the middle somewhere about this situation. But it, like I said, it brings up the topic of taboos of stuff,
Okay, I got a lot of different places to go with this. Okay. But I just thought of one.
Okay.
This just came to me. So let's say let's make this personal.
Oh boy.
Let's say you found this out about me. That I'm into the weirdest shit possible. How would you feel about me? Would you feel a little like, oh, I don't know if I want to hang out with him anymore?
No. I think for me, I would think, wow, Jetty's into some weird shit. But I would think that that's none of my business. What's that got to do with me? You know, it'd be different if like you were into some other weird shit that involved me or something. But it's a difference when like it's just between you and one person, or if you're into like more than one person or whatever.
I don't know, bro. If I found out that you wanted to slice off flesh and throw it on the grill and eat it, I'm gonna look at you differently.
Well, I get that, but like, I think there's a difference between the act and the fantasy of it. Okay,
so the thought versus the actually doing it.
Exactly.
So this brings me to this thing I was telling you about last night. We spoke about this briefly. This is a story. This came out like years ago. There was this dope documentary about it. If anybody wants to check out the documentary, this guy is known as the New York City Cannibal Cop. His name is Gilberto Vale. And basically, he's a former New York City police officer who was arrested after his wife discovered he was spending time in internet chat rooms describing detailed plans to abduct, torture, rape, and cannibalize women. Vale claimed all the scenarios he described were mere fantasies. He actually got locked up for this. He was in prison for 2 years, and he was actually released not too long ago because one judge ruled that there was no crime committed. So he was released.
Yeah.
So it kind of blurs that line of, and you were joking last time about like a Minority Report.
Yeah.
But it kind of blurs that line because, what if this guy is planning this? But what if it is? So that's one side of it, right? Stopping something before it happens. The other side is, it's just some weird thing that he typed about and he enjoyed. And it's very creepy to the highest extent. But is that legal?
True. Like I said, I think like that the line to me is like the step right before the action is like people go through things.
Okay, so take it another step further. You have a terrorism.
Okay.
You have a jihadist, an extremist that sets up a plan to bomb a city. You're gonna step in and stop that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it depends.
What?
Well, it depends because one, like, I mean, where are they going to talk about this? Like out in the open? Like,
no, chat room, secret.
Okay, but so then I think it's a difference when they're like, hey, we need to get these things together. We need to go buy these equipment so that way we can build bombs and we can do all these things.
And this cop was talking about that. Ooh, I'm gonna go buy the rope. Ooh, but I'm gonna.
The key word is gonna. I'm gonna do this. Nah, I did it. Like I bought this, I bought that.
I think if someone views terrorism and they see that as an act that's about to happen, they're going to stop it. So this is a smaller version of that. Like, damn, this guy's going to go kill women. Dang, what should we do?
Well, I don't know, because like I think it's different. It's like I said, it's the difference is the committing it, like the actual doing the crime.
But then you're actually letting it happen.
Isn't that how it's supposed to be? Because somebody you could, like, for example, you could be like, you know what, man, I'm gonna go punch this person, and somebody goes, I'm taking you to jail because you just said you're gonna punch the person.
You can get jailed for making
a threat,
a death threat, or I forget. There's another terminology for it. Yeah, because I actually have a friend. Someone called the police one time on my friend, and they called it, bro. I forgot what they called it. It wasn't a death threat. Mm-hmm. There's a lower version of a death threat.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And they actually got locked up for it.
Yeah.
So this can happen.
I think. I think a death threat is well. I mean, it also, I guess, it brings up then the subtopic of like what's considered a death threat. You know, like I'm gonna punch you. Is that considered a death threat, or is that just a threat?
Dang, this even goes into free speech because Eminem. Yeah. Remember Eminem's lyrics? Eminem would say, "Oh, I'm gonna, done, kill." I forget what all Eminem said.
Yeah, I think the only difference,
but then that's viewed actually, in the light of art.
I'm actually glad you brought that up too, because put a pause on the Army Hammer things, because then it goes into that. Because did you hear about what state? It was Maryland or something, where they were talking about artists like that rap about doing illegal things. That shit can be used against them in the court of law now.
Yeah.
But then that's like a whole constitutional thing of like, well, no, this is we should be able to talk about these things,
That's free speech, but you're telling on yourself. If you tell me your shirt is blue, and I write down that your shirt is, I know that your shirt is blue, that's no fault of mine. You told me that information.
Yeah, but like, what am I trying to say? Hold on. Because I think people, I guess then it should come down to like with, I guess words are kind of tricky, because like it should come down to like, the burden of proof is on the people that are trying to, lock you up. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to prove to me that I did these things. Because, like I said, because it does get into a Minority Report thing where, like, we're going to stop you before it even happens.
Stop future crimes.
Exactly, stop future crimes. But, like, the Minority Report was a whole different thing, because they were stopping future crimes of when they didn't know it was going to happen.
I mean, there's a bunch of sides to this. But, okay, let's say I'm a television executive, and then I find out that this guy I hired named Army Hammer fantasizes about slicing body parts and eating them. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I want him on my show.
Well, but see, like, I think the main thing, though, of course, I think that's something that was never supposed to come out. That's the thing. Yeah. I almost kind of feel like the woman should go to jail, or whoever. Well, because they're one. Like, it's like they're snitching, but they're like, I don't want to know who I am.
What happens in the dark will come to the light.
Cool, but let it come to light when it's supposed to come to the light.
Well,
it's like, but it is a lot of blurred lines.
Maybe there was an extortion element there. Because,
that's what I feel like, because
they were like, hey, Army, pay me $100,000 or I'm leaking this.
And then even, let's just say, even if they did get the money, they probably still would leak it, regardless. And so because I know, like, there's a bunch of shit like that's happened, but it's like, that's where I think shit gets kind of because I can see both sides, where it's the same example that I kind of don't like when you work for a company and the company's like, you represent us, and I'm like, well, it should only be I represent you on my hours that I'm working, and then once I'm done with my work shift, I don't represent y'all no more.
I do think entertainment's a little different, though.
It could be,
because when you think about, I'm trying to think of an example. What's what do you? Okay, when you think of Steve Urkel, you think of Family Matters, right? Okay. So if we find out that Steve Urkel was this wild, fucked up guy, that kind of influences your view of the show.
Does it?
I mean, do people feel differently about the Cosby Show now?
I think there's people who still love the Cosby Show for the message that he was trying to send across, but they have this kind of like difficult position they're put in. They're kind of like, damn it, like it sucks that Bill Cosby, the person, did those crimes that he did.
Cosby got taken off of that. They don't show that show anymore, right?
No, I don't think so. But I don't think that stops people from loving the show. You know what I mean?
You can't watch it.
Well, I mean, the same thing could be said about the Kramer from Seinfeld. For when he had his like outburst and he was saying the N-word, people still love Seinfeld. Yeah. You know, it just, you know, it's kind of like, I guess maybe people get selective about who to, and then also let me take the back, because what Bill Cosby did and what Kramer did are two different things. Right. And so, but still, that doesn't forgive either of them.
Well, they're both very negative things in the public.
Yeah, exactly.
That came to the public.
When you think about it, though, Kramer, he did say the N-word to black people, and Seinfeld's still on TV.
It is?
Yeah. It's probably still on network or whatever. I'm pretty sure local channels probably replay it all the time, or there's certain channels that it's on and it's still in syndication, you know? But like I said, those are two different things. Kind of, I don't know if that's good to compare them, but it's just interesting to me because like I can see both sides. Like I see both of them. It's just
okay. Do you feel like this shouldn't have happened to this guy? Do you feel bad for the guy?
I don't feel bad for the guy. I more so feel bad for people because of the implication of what this could do to everybody as a whole, what could happen to people. Because who's to say that, like, you know, this happens. I'm always thinking of the chain reaction this might cause, you know, like, you know, what if like that happened? This brings it brings up the topic of like Edward Snowden and all that shit, where, you know, when 9/11 happened, then the government started spying on their own people. Like we have to like look into these people's lives, and then people are like, well, wait, hold on, you know, it's like, where's the line at? You know, illegally spying on people and like doing all these things we got to make sure that we stop any and everybody if anything were ever to happen. It's like, okay, well then, like, am I a prisoner of like I can only say certain things? Do I really have a freedom of speech? Right. And that's what it makes me think of.
I've heard that anytime you type bomb, that
you get on the list.
That someone reads what you typed.
Ooh, isn't that what happened? Whenever some of the people who were like for Donald Trump, a woman, like the FBI investigated this woman who said something about Donald Trump. She was like, I support Donald Trump. We need to do this to these people. And like the FBI actually visited her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And she was like, it was on TikTok, and she was like crying. She's like, she had made like a little clip, and then TikTok, I guess, or the FBI, somebody saw it, reported her, and then FBI came and visited her like, hey, what did you mean when you said this?
Yeah, I mean.
But like after a while, it's like, okay, you know, are we really free? Like, I guess maybe also too, let me also say that I guess there's also a degree of like, if you're inciting violence, you know, or saying that you're going to do things, it's such a thin line, you know.
I'm okay with being a little less free and a little more safe.
How do you think let me ask you this. How do you think if the guy was into something else that was like still weird, but wasn't in cannibalism, do you think he would have lost like all those like jobs and roles?
No. It probably depends on the weird level, because people are into weird shit. I feel like cannibalism crosses this insane line, though. That's going too far. I mean, how do you even have that fantasy? I feel like
that's actually the more interesting question.
Something got screwed up in your development when you were a kid, and
if I was him, I'd have been like, "This is my parents' fault."
For some reason, you saw a rotisserie chicken turning, and then you just decided to start jacking off.
Oh my god!
And that's how it started in his brain.
Maybe. I feel like it's just, it makes
Imagine a guy going to Walmart just sneaking and looking at the chickens.
He's like between the deli. He's like over there. He's like, chicken heating up. No, my God, that's so nasty. But it's just very interesting because, like, I guess, I don't know. I guess maybe also too. This is just how society is. Society is very much against that. You know, in other countries, people do that. Right? What? There's tribes that are cannibalists.
Well, it's definitely frowned upon. It's
frowned upon. And what's crazy is there's actually a documentary about a dude who visited a tribe that were cannibalists, and he got there and people were like, "You should not be going to this tribe. They're cannibalists. They're dangerous.
Right.
And he was like, well, no, I need to go document, like, them and stuff. And he got there. He only stayed there for a little bit because after a while they were like...
Then they ate him with carrots?
No. They were going to kill him and eat him. And he was like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And so it's very interesting. But I don't know. Like, I guess... I feel like every few years, because, we're always evolving and like... how the rules, so to speak, you kind of have to learn how to play by the rules, because I'm pretty sure like years and years ago, like I don't think he would have lost his job for like shit like this. Like, do you think 50 years like before he would have, like, if something like this would happen?
I think he would have been blackballed and no one would have known.
No, I feel like people have done.
Okay. Back then, there was no social media. There was no way for this information to even get out. But the people running shit in charge, no one would have given him a job.
Do you think that for all the bad things that the higher ups have done, like your Weinsteins and stuff?
Oh, well, I don't know.
He probably would have been like, hey, they would have nipped it in the bud, paid off the person.
They would have been like, hey, buddy, me too.
Exactly. And so, but I think now things kind of change and, your certain ideas kind of move and taboos switch around and shit.
Right.
Because kind of ask you like, okay, what's gonna, like, I guess I'm all for freedom of speech. It's just whenever there's action behind the speech is when I'm like, all right, we need to check that. That's the difference for me, because I think people should be allowed to say anything unless there's action behind it, if that makes sense.
I don't know.
Well, I feel you might feel different. I mean, that's just how I feel.
Bring on the Minority Report.
Oh my God, I do not want that. Like, that's just gonna be the worst.
We're gonna cut out your future crimes before they happen.
Wow, that sounds like such a bad idea. It'd be like
I'm gonna get locked up tomorrow.
I know a lot of people probably get locked up.
Be like, Jetty, 40 years from now, you stole a rotisserie chicken out of Walmart.
What the it's 40 years from now. Yeah, but we got to catch it now. You're like, damn, bro. But that's interesting. But it going from that, it actually brings up the next topic of like, I guess we kind of touched on it a little bit of like taboo, like how do I want to put this? Like, for you, what's the limit? Like, is there like, okay, so of course cannibalism, you're against it. Yes. I'm against it.
I feel like obviously child porn.
Of course. Which actually I wanted to ask you. So how do you feel about people? Because people are into, let's just put it out here, people are into a lot of a variety of things.
Oh gosh, this episode is the worst.
This is worse. We might have to edit out job porn so that way we could just bleep it or something, because I don't know how that's gonna come across. But people are into a lot of weird things, and I think it's like really, it fascinates me how somebody could be into something. Like, I don't know what part of the brain like affects that part, but for going to that of underage people, like, how do you feel about people who are into, I guess, hold on, let me word this right.
You're doing a lot of dancing over there.
I'm trying to word this right, because like, it's just tough, because even if you even go on Pornhub, there's a lot of different categories.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's thousands, hundreds. I'm just
guys that like teenagers.
I could see that.
Because you see porn, it says teenager.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a really old guy.
Yeah.
And what if the roles reverse? What if it's a really old woman? You feel like, hey, good on you, boy.
I've never clicked into that world before, so I know nothing.
Okay, so
I know it exists, but
yeah,
I've never.
That's weird. I'm trying to think of. I don't even know where the fuck this segment's going. I don't know. Like, I was gonna say, what's the limit? Or like, have you heard of anything like crazy?
I think all these weird fetishes happen. Something weird happened when you were a kid. The things, nobody really knows why we like what we like. But I've seen like a lot of, serial killer documentaries and podcasts and stuff like that. And all these kids had fucked up
they were like abused and like, and everything,
and that made them like these fucked up things, and then they just grew up into this monster. So I feel like a lot of this stuff happens at like the developmental stage in people. I mean, how do you control what you like?
True.
I mean, if you do like fucked up stuff, you're still a fucked up person, but something happened along the way that sent you down that path.
Yeah, true. I could see that. Because I think most of the time, even for someone who's, I guess what society would consider a normal person, most of the time you kind of first, I think you develop what you like from your parents. Like because they're kind of like your guidance through the world. They're kind of like, you look up to them to be like, oh, well, they know more than me, and I love my parents, so to speak. So that's where it first develops. And I don't think you really develop what you like until your late teens, if not early adult years, where you're like, oh, I actually can make my own decisions and I can choose what I like. But yeah, that like, speaking on that, it's like, maybe one day, or maybe this information's out there, I just haven't looked at it or found it.
What?
But I just want to know, like, what's going on. I guess like, what happens to the brain that causes these things? Because I've heard of some weird shit that people are into.
Oh yeah.
Not personally, but just like vicariously, like from other people. Like, they're like, hey, I want, like, for example, I've talked to you. This shit made me laugh. But
what? Don't put my business out there.
Not you. I've heard this on a Joe Rogan podcast where it was the Joe Rogan and another comedian. I can't remember his name right now, but he was talking about
Army Hammer.
No, not really. He was talking about and in Vegas, I guess would they consider prostitution is legal.
Oh yeah.
They have like what's called like those bunny ranches or whatever, and a comedian was in Vegas doing a show back in the day, and like he met a escort girl, and she was like, do you want to have a good time? He's like, no, I'm not really into that, I'm sorry, I got a wife, blah blah blah. But then he's like, yo, I'm curious, like, what's the weirdest shit that somebody has paid you to do? And then she was like, oh, this dude would fly me out once a month into this nice expensive ass condo or hotel, the most expensive. He was a wealthy businessman, and he was like, they would meet up, and he would have like 2-3 pounds of ground beef raw, and he wanted her to shove it up his butt. And that was like his fetish, that was his kink. And like, I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened to this dude? That
somebody screenshot that shit and out that guy.
No, that's wrong. Don't out him, because that to me, that's harmless. He's just putting shit up his butt. Whatever.
That might not be harmless. He might get an infection from that. It doesn't sound healthy.
Let him deal with it.
He's gonna get some harm.
He'll be okay. But he got money if he's a wealthy businessman, hopefully. But it's just very interesting because when I heard shit like that, I'm like, yo, first of all, what the fuck? Second, like, what happened? Did he sit on a burger one time by accident? And he was like, ooh. He's like, whoa.
I used to be friends with this stripper, and I asked her, I was like, yo, what's the craziest thing that's happened? Like, at the place she worked at. And she was like, there's this guy that comes in once a month, and he pays thousands of dollars, and he gets a different girl every time, but they'll go back in like a VIP, little private room. Yeah. And he puts on a diaper, and then they humiliate him. A different girl every time. He pays thousands of dollars, and he's just in a diaper, and they're just like shit talking to him, and he gets off on it.
That's, man, I want to know what happened. Like, my whole thing is like, I'm fascinated about like, okay, I would want a psychologist. There should be a psychologist at every strip club that sits there, and then like, if people want to talk,
waiting for that guy to come in.
Yeah, well, in a sense, strippers are kind of like therapists because people sometimes talk to them.
Well, I don't know. They're half therapist, half vice.
Yeah, I could see that. But it makes me, like I said, it just makes me wonder of like, I want to be like, what happened? Like, why do you think you're the way that you are? Like, because, was it from something simple as, when you were a kid, your mom talked to you a certain way, your parents or your friends or your girlfriend or something, and then you kind of was like, you're into, what is it when you talk down about yourself?
Humiliation, abuse,
or I forgot. We might just say humiliation because I was going to say self-deprecation.
Yeah. That's the thing. People like that.
That's so weird. But I get it. I enjoyed back in the day being sad because I was just like, oh, I know this feeling. I'm familiar with it.
You enjoy being sad?
Well, it was like, it felt comfortable. Because growing up, I was a very emotional kid. And so I was used to that feeling. So when happiness came and I was just like, this shit weird as fuck. Y'all weird. It was very foreign to me sometimes. And then it wasn't until later I was like, oh, I got some shit I got to work out.
So that was you that went to the strip club.
You stupid. Yeah, I dressed up like a baby. I went, wham. No. But it's very interesting because, like I said, the humans are probably, if not the most interesting, they're like up there of like how complex and how weird shit can get, you know. And so, but
should we take it from the strip club to the OnlyFans?
Oh yeah, well, let's do that. That's actually a good transition.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's what is this a segment or is this just a?
We're winging it.
Oh, the winging segment.
We're winging it.
Wing. You know.
I think me and you have differing views on this.
Oh boy.
I don't know how you want to open it up.
All right, listeners, get ready to pick a side.
Okay, so if you compare today, okay, think about the 1950s, right?
Racism. Got it. No.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I wasn't thinking in
gotcha.
that.
No, I know what you're saying.
But it was taboo for a girl to even show a thigh. Like, like you think about skirts. Skirts were like down to women's ankles. Like, so you compare that to today, 2020.
Yeah.
You know, you go on Instagram
and just ass,
you just get
titties
a little booty right there.
Yeah.
And it's this world of personalized porn. Everybody can create an OnlyFans, make money from it. Mm-hmm. And me and you were having the conversation. I think I'm for the new world, man.
Okay. Letting people just do what they want, and
just maybe I'd feel differently if I had a daughter. I don't have a daughter.
Yeah.
But I'm for it, man. If if that liberates you, I don't know if that's the right word, but if it makes you feel good, better, if it's for you,
then do it.
I'm not against it.
Yeah, I feel it. I agree to a certain extent. Because one, I'm all for people doing what they want to do as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, or like let me
cannibalism.
Sure. Yeah, there you go. But for example, because I remember me and you talking about this yesterday, and I'm gonna bring the question up again of what you had asked me. And you had asked me, you were like, how would you feel if you were in a relationship with a girl who had an OnlyFans, right? And this is very like, there's a lot of landmines, so you got to be careful where you step here, because we're in the new generation.
Right.
Now, me, I'm not gonna stop. Like if let's just say I'm in a different relationship, whatever, or let me make it personal. Let's say my girl comes to me and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna join OnlyFans," and I'm gonna be like, "You know what? Hey, good for you. Do your thing, but we can't be together."
Well, also, what kind of content is she making though? Because there are OnlyFans people that
post feet pics or something.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not nudity,
I feel like
you still feel like that's
weird.
Really?
Like to know that somebody's getting off on my partner's feet.
Well, what if it's not even like get off content?
Okay, so like, give me an example.
I don't know. There's like fitness people on there.
I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I think maybe I feel a different type of way because it kind of. Well, I mean, people could say the same thing, but I think it's different. It's just like when you start to get into content that's like more sexual and more like,
So you wouldn't want your partner to show that to the world, even if it's not nudity?
Man, it depends. Like it really depends. Like if it's fitness, I think it's fine. If it's nudity, I don't want no part of it. Just because like I'm very selfish when it comes to my partner. Like, and I don't like sharing them. Like I don't like, I let like I would let them do what they want, but it's just like after a while, it's kind of like it makes me think of what are you not getting here type of thing. And if it is on empowerment, like if they're like, well, this makes me feel like like I'm in control and all these things, and I'm like, that's good for you, but I know that I'm gonna feel a type of way, so we can't be together because I'm not gonna hold back and repress my emotions just because this makes you feel a certain type of way. I don't
know, man. I think some people are exhibitionists, right?
True.
They like to show the world things.
Yeah.
And I feel like as long as you and that person have a relationship, they kind of come home to you at the end of the day. I don't know if it really, me personally, it doesn't really do harm to me. Yeah. It's like if you take a hot picture, you post it, whatever, just me personally.
Yeah.
It's like you can show the world that, but as long as me and you have a relationship, me personally, it's kind of whatever.
Yeah. I can see that. It's just I know for me and the type of person that I am, I'm a very traditional person. And so like, things have to be a certain way. And like, but at the same time, I'm not like, holding my partner down by a ball and chain. Like you gotta do this. I'm like, well, listen, this is how I would like things to be. And, you know, I can sort of bend on certain things, but there's a lot of things that I stand on and I'm like, I can't, you know, I'm not going to, like, you have to do that somewhere else. You can't do it here. And so, because I know that, I think if not, what'll happen is it'll build, not animosity, but resentment. It builds resentment, and it's going to put a strain on the relationship. I'm going to be like, you know, damn, this motherfucker's out there just looking. And
damn,
like,
stop showing your titties.
Exactly. And so it's just like not my thing. Like, I couldn't be with somebody who did that, you know. But at the same time, I don't look down upon them or anything. I just know that I couldn't be there, like, with that person.
Could you date a former porn star?
No. There's nothing against it. Actually, I have thought about that question way back when I was in college, and like I was like, could I, you know? But then I was like, nah, man, too many people don't hit that. It's kind of like, it's kind of like, look, but it's interesting because as I say that, I know growing up, the main thing that people would always say would be like, listen, most of the time when you meet somebody, their past has nothing to do with you.
Right.
It's just in their past.
Right.
But if it's a porn star, you're kind of like, well, shit, man. Like, how it's very hard to like look past that past.
I'm with it, bro. I'm with the wild shit.
I'm not with the wild shit. I'm not with it. I like a very simple, like, plain life. You know.
Give me that 2020 life.
Hey, do you 2021 life?
Oh, I'm living in the past.
Oh, you want the crazy?
I'm living in the past already.
You know.
Oh, so we kind of had this convo last night where, like, with my example, if you compare 1950 to like 2020, what do you think it's going to be like in another 20 to 40 years?
I think in another 20 to 40 years, this was going to happen. I think that there's probably going to be, no, I have a feeling. Now, anything's possible. Let me say that first. Because a part of me was, my gut reaction was like, oh, motherfuckers just going to be butt ass naked walking around. And they're trying to like revert back to how it was in like caveman days. Like as far as like, you know, this is my body. This is like this. I'm like, okay. But I have a feeling that...
What, people walking around naked?
You know, like you have your nudist beaches and stuff, but I think it's going to be a little bit more acceptable.
I want to go.
You want to go?
Yeah. I don't want y'all with me, but I just want to go.
Be like, oh, Jay, look at that. Look at that over there. No. I think what's going to happen is that I think how it is right now, it's just going to increase more. I think maybe in like the mainstream side of things, I think there's going to be a lot more acceptance of people just, you know, loving yourself, you know, do your things or whatever. It's going to be a little bit more freer. And I think that people are, how do I want to say this? I think that people are just going to be more with like revealing themselves. I think what it is, people, this idea of, you know, how, like you were saying, in the 1950s, they were all covered up. Now people want to just be like, pop out.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a social media thing, too.
Yeah.
It's, you know, kind of showing yourself for likes.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy watching, so you know what I mean? That
all
probably
these
sounded
challenges,
a little creepy.
the busted challenge, the silhouette challenge.
But, you know, do your thing.
Man, I'm not gonna lie.
Don't be so judgmental.
I'm not judgmental.
Let the people do crack.
First of all, oh my God. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm not judgmental, but just know that like, I think for me, like, and like my partner, like I know how I am. I'm never one to judge people, unless you're hurting people or saying shit that is hurtful,
or typing about cannibalism. You know.
Sure. But I don't judge it, but what I don't like too, that I think I think we're gonna have to be careful as a society, is that I think, because we're kind of seeing evidence of it now. So as time changes, right, and like let's say it just keeps going like this, people start to do the reverse, like looking down upon people who aren't with what they believe in. Oh,
so if you're not on OnlyFans, you'll get judged for not being on OnlyFans?
That's kind of metaphorically what it is. For example, like, let's say, for example, like, I don't know how to put it. So, like, let's say me, you know, I'm working out and, like, I don't work out for nobody but me. Okay. And then let's say, like, there's a group of dudes who are like, you know, we just want to show off our biceps and our, you know, chest more. We want to just show it out there. And then I'm just like, well, that ain't me. I ain't gonna do that. And they're like, man, you're stuck in the past. You need to be out here like showing.
Exactly,
you know,
bro.
You know, no, I don't believe in that.
Comes to the future.
No. So that's what I think. I think that's actually another thing that's probably going to happen too. I think people we have to be careful because it happens on the regular, but I think it's going to get tenfold. Was it toxic positivity? And so
toxic positivity.
Yeah. You know, have you ever heard of that?
I'm not sure.
There's a thing such as toxic positivity where someone is like always positive and they're getting on people for not being as positive. And you know, I'm like, motherfucker, be in your feelings sometimes. You know, you don't have to be there the whole time. But
you enjoy being sad.
No, like I don't think I'm sad all the time.
You said you enjoyed being sad.
I did back in the past. See, now you're judging me. That's it, boy. You about to get me too'd. No.
What? I didn't do anything.
No, but
I'm all for showing your butt online.
It's kind of like that. I think I had this conversation with my girl. It brings up another thing. I think that I think I had a conversation with my girl. Or it might have been in college or some shit. But I was saying that there's a lot of people who avoid feeling certain emotions. Not just negative emotions, or excuse me, not just positive emotions, but negative as well. For example, some people are like, you know, like I always want to be in a good mood. And me, but at the same time, I'm much more of a realist. I'm like, that ain't always going to be the case. I feel you. You know?
That's why I hate jolly people.
Yeah.
There's this girl, this lady I used to work with that was jolly as fuck 24/7.
Oh, boy.
And it just made me want to just...
Oh, the police coming in. Hey, we hear you in there, Johnny.
Just slap that jolliness out of her.
Yeah. No, I feel it. It's
I apologize for that. I apologize.
I apologize. But it's interesting because for me, like, I would have moments like that too where I would be upset. And the one thing that I hate when I'm upset is when people tell me not to be upset. I'm like, you making this shit worse. Like you.
That's like telling a girl to chill out.
That's the worst move you can make.
You ever told a girl to chill
out? No, because I saw others who did the mistake.
I've done it many times.
Oh my God.
Yo, chill out.
Oh my God. That's funny.
When you say chill out, that's like pouring gasoline on a fire.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
That's why like I think there was one time I remember being in a relationship where I was telling the girl I was with, I was like, listen, you know, she's like, is there anything I can do to like make you feel better? I'm like, listen, I'm not mad at you. I just have to get this mad out. Because if not, it's going to stay in there and I'm trying to get this shit out. So let me be mad, but I just don't give me anything, you know, don't do nothing. Like, you ain't got to do nothing. I just need to be emotional and then get it out. And then once it's done, it's done. You know, that's how you process your emotions. If not, the bitches are going to stay in there, you know? So
I have nothing to add.
That's hilarious. But yeah, I think that's how
all I do is just get girls mad and tell them to chill out.
Oh boy.
That's my strategy.
Ooh. What do you, I don't know. Did you enter, what do you think it's going to be like in 20, 40 years, 50?
I think it's just going to keep trending the way it is now. Okay. And things are going to just become more acceptable. And I'm here for it. I don't know if it's positive or negative. But, you know, we'll see.
I guess, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. My whole thing is, man, hold on. I just had it. Oh, don't tell me I lost the thought. My whole thing is, I think people need to understand that things will get better, but just know that there are going to be people who think different than you, and we need to learn to not react to them thinking different.
I will add that I don't think so. It's like sexualization. I don't think that's good for kids.
Of course.
Because kids see it on TV, and then everybody wants to look like Kim Kardashian.
Of course.
I don't think you need to look like that. People get this thing in their brain that they need to be beautiful and sexy and, you know.
Yeah.
Get a million likes on every picture. I do think that's negative. I think that's a negative side to this whole thing that that I say is positive and that I say is cool. I do think that's the negative side to it.
I mean, yeah. It's just, you know, it's just a part of us growing up and getting older. Sort of our views change because I'm pretty sure, you know, you might not have thought like that when you were younger, and then as you get older, and then if you do have a kid, you're like, oh shit, hold on, the world starts to be like, now you look at it this way,
right.
You know, you're like, oh, well, I need to stop this because there's a comedian that I follow, Bill Burr, and he has this thing where he's like, for his family, he doesn't post any photos like of his kids or anything because he has 2 kids, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna post any photos of them. Like, why would I do that? You know? And like the reason why, half of the reasoning is because he's like there are sickos who are on Instagram
I think that's also partly a celebrity thing too.
That too, yeah.
Because I feel like for a regular person, you might just share pictures of your family because you have your family on social media. Your family's on Facebook. Oh, look at, my uncle, my niece, my, whatever. But for famous guys, I feel like it's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because for me, I think my whole life I've mostly been like a real secretive person. Like I don't like being like, this is my mom, this is my dad, this is blah, blah, blah. I just don't put it out there like that.
Right.
Because then I'm like, the only person that's going to care is me because this is my family. Right. Like most of the time I feel like people don't really care, but they do it. They act like they care because they want to be nice. Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting.
News.
Yeah, let's do the news.
Sorry, I'm gathering my news right now.
Jetty at 2 o'clock with the news. Oh, hold on. While you're looking at real quick, I want to add this last little thing about the previous topic.
Yeah.
I don't care what people do as long as they don't hurt nobody, but keep that shit away from me. That's my whole view on everything.
Email it to him. Send it to him in the DMs.
No, I'm going to block you.
Okay. Scientists have taught spinach to send emails.
Oh, I think I heard something like that. What? So hold on, break it down.
Engineers have used nanotechnology, which allows plants to communicate with humans. This tech could be used to detect landmines, pollution, and even upcoming droughts. The robots are going to take over the world in the form of plants.
That's interesting because at first I was like, where's our money going when it comes to the research like this?
Imagine walking by a tree and that tree's like, I don't fuck with that guy. And it just falls on you and kills you.
Damn, bro.
Killer trees.
And it's funny because we need them.
Okay, further news. New Spotify patent involves monitoring users' speech to recommend music.
Wait.
It's a little creepy.
So, does it go deeper?
Well, you know how your Google listens to you, Facebook listens to you. If you say Doritos, it's going to start showing you ads for Doritos. Spotify is going to be the same way now. If your friend says Migos, Spotify is going to show you some Migos.
Man, why can't we just... When is enough?
The streaming platform is interested in extracting data points like emotional state, gender, age, and accent to hone its recommendations. So if you're mad, you're upset, you're yelling at your girl, Spotify is going to be like, I know what he needs.
And it's music to make him angrier, to do something. And then he goes to jail because Minority Report. Oh, and then Spotify's going to snitch on you. Look, he's in a certain mood. Get him right now.
Yes.
I don't like that. I do not like that at all. I think that's really bad.
Dude, I had a lot more news. I just can't find it. I'm failing right now.
That's crazy that like, I want to know how Spotify spins this to try to make it seem like it's a positive, like, or if they even acknowledge it, because I'm pretty sure the news story, Spotify, like, whatever, nobody's going to listen. They're just going to come to us to listen to music. Right. That's just wild. But I don't like that at all. Spotify, get the hell out of my phone.
Okay, a new news segment. Rapper news.
Boom, chap, boom, boom, clap, boom. Hey, yo.
Lil Uzi excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Lil Uzi Vert implants $24 million diamond in his face.
Man, I saw that shit,
Did you see the picture with the blood, too?
I didn't see the blood.
It was bleeding
picture.
At one point.
Like...
Supposedly, if it doesn't get taken out correctly, he says he can die.
Why would you put yourself in that position?
You're walking around with $24 million on your face.
Like, I'm pretty sure if this isn't the case, he need to go ahead. But I'm pretty sure he probably put that in. If he didn't already, he probably walks with 8 security guards. Right. Or something, because anybody could run up on him. And sure, he might have protection, but one day... he not gonna have it, or somebody just gonna get the up on him. But I think, man, I saw that diamond. I didn't realize how big it was.
It was big.
I was like, where did this come from?
He's the real life Vision.
And just as useless. No.
Vision was dope.
He was dope.
Then in his first movie, then he became
super weak.
Yeah. Takeoff from Migos says he is the reason people are wearing Jordans and Nikes again.
Oh boy, I think I saw that shit.
People are off of designer and now they're on to Jordans and Nikes because of Takeoff.
Bro, they want to. Nothing against him, but that statement he made is whack as fuck. No, he did not get people back. I think, you know what? Hold on. I think he tweeted he wasn't talking about normal people.
Oh, he clarified that?
Yeah, he was talking about celebrities.
Okay.
And so I was like, motherfucker, we can't afford the type of shoewear that you got. So what do you mean?
Even celebrities still had Jordans and Nikes.
I think so too.
Moving on. Soulja Boy wants to start a cryptocurrency named Soulja Coin.
Boy, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Would you buy Soulja Coin?
I might buy it when it's super cheap.
I might buy it when it's a penny.
Just on the off chance it blows up.
When it's a penny. By the way, from our last podcast, if you took my advice, I told everyone to buy Doge. You'd be winning right now, bro.
Yeah.
Listen to Jetty, bro.
No, because
you'd be winning.
Listen to Jetty sometimes, not all the time.
Look, I could have made you double your money by now.
But how long did this take?
1 week, you could have doubled your money, bro.
Not true.
That is true.
That's not true, bro.
That's true.
Do you remember what it was last time?
Yeah, it was at so a week ago. Un momento. So a week ago it was at 3.5. Right now it's at 7.5. That's double.
See, but I think that a lot of different things. I don't think a lot of different things happened that caused it to get there. It didn't do it by itself.
No, I did it because I said it was going to do it.
No,
and if you listen to me,
that's not true. Don't listen to him.
So listen, ignore L. Nope. If you would have followed me, you would have doubled your money.
You could have quadrupled your money had you listened to me.
What'd you tell him to do?
When I told not you. I'm talking to you personally. When you got out that one time, and then you could have put back in, so on and so forth. Because a lot of this is on what ifs. The only reason why the money went up was because of Elon, Snoop, and Gene Simmons. So
and Justin Bieber.
I didn't even see Justin Bieber's comment.
I didn't either, but people are saying it, so it happened. Something happened.
He put a picture of a dog or something. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I think it'll go back down. I think it's just unpredictable. That's what it is. So
hater.
You can't. It's not a hater, bro.
Hater.
If you would have listened to me, you would have made more money.
He says girls shouldn't even get on OnlyFans.
That's a lie.
Hater.
Now you're gaslighting me. You're a gaslighter. That's hilarious. Was that all the news?
That's all the news. That's all we got.
Oh, okay. Well,
I had more, but I can't find it.
All right. Well, we're at that point of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else, and whatever you classify yourself as. It's the not all here moment with us. Anyway, I'm gonna go first because mine isn't that crazy. So this is during, I want to say middle school. So at my middle school, how things used to be in school, you had your middle school, you had your junior high, then you had high school. And they were like separated by like 2 or 3 grades, whatever.
So what grade was middle school for you?
Middle school, I think, was like 8th and 9th grade, or 7th through 9th, I think.
You know what's funny?
What?
My middle school was 5th and 6th.
That's hilarious.
And then high school was 7 through 12.
Oh boy, we're not that smart. No.
My school was different.
Yeah, I think eventually though our school is like integrated. They just said, "Fuck all the buildings, everybody move into one place."
Oh.
It was really crazy. But anyway, so I was a very shy kid. I didn't talk to a lot of people. I had a few friends, but wasn't too whatever. Just because, like I said, I was a shy kid.
Nobody taught you how to jump or land.
True. That's true. I had to learn it by myself.
You were very sad.
That was high school, but
damn, that was high school.
So that makes me sound worse. Damn. But anyway, no. So what happened was, of course, as every school has, most of the time you have your middle of the day break is lunch and then recess or whatever, or just lunch as you get older. So in middle school, there used to be this game that people would play. Everybody knows it as wall ball. And do you know what wall ball is?
Is that handball?
Yeah.
I took a class for that in college.
Yeah. I might be forgetting the rules or whatever, but basically you're supposed to hit the ball back and forth against this wall. And if you miss it, you have to run, touch the wall before you get hit and like egged or pegged with a ball.
Oh, that's different.
Okay. So we played a little different. But anyway, one day I decide, after all my shyness, because you either could do that, you could do jump rope, skip rope, with the basketball or whatever. I was just like, I'm gonna play wall ball with some people I knew. So it was like 10 to 15 kids playing wall ball. Like,
was it like this size?
It was like a tennis ball. They used a tennis ball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I remember I was like, "Hey guys, can I play?" They're like, "Yeah." He was like, "Just jump in where you can, because there's a lot of action going on. You're just hitting the ball back and forth, and everybody kind of gets their turn to like hit the ball or whatever." And eventually, it came up to my turn, and I'm nervous because I'm like, I ain't never really played this game. I've seen people play it, but I've never myself personally played it. And I remember I missed, and then they're like, "You gotta run to the wall. You gotta run the wall, bro." I start running. I'm running. Remember, I was a little bit bigger back in the day, so I'm running. I'm a big kid, just do. And I look back because I'm looking at the person who caught the ball, and in slow motion, I'm seeing them like just throw their arm back like a pitcher, like MLB pitcher, and the next thing you know, it just goes flying, right? And I'm like, oh shit, it misses me. But me being dumb, I didn't pay attention to where I was going. I run into the wall. Immediate, like, I kid you, like, full force, just pop, knocks the wind out of me. I hit the floor, and all you hear from me is just,
dang, bro.
And everybody's like, L. They didn't call me L back then. They was like, E, are you okay? And I can't breathe. Like, it hit me. It's so hard.
Sound like you're dying.
And then I remember one of the like supervisors that was like watching the kids comes over, and she's like, "Get up!" She just yelled at me, "Get up! Go to the nurse's office!" And I'm like, it's like so hard to breathe. And so then I just go to the nurse's office, and I'm sitting there, and she's like, "What happened?" I was like, "I ran into a wall."
You still couldn't talk?
Dang, no, I could, but it was just like it was hard to breathe. And she was like, "Oh, well, go lay down for like 20 minutes and then go back to class."
Put some ice on it.
Basically. And then I'm just sitting there feeling so pathetic, like in this like little womb pose or whatever, just like, damn, now the whole school knows me as.
And then you never played sports again.
I think I might have played again. Because we had also the Foursquare where you have a basketball where you're supposed to jump as you throw it, and it goes back and forth like hot potato.
I don't know that one.
Oh, that's boy. We must have not had a lot of games, but anyway, yeah. After that, I was really embarrassed. But then, what people don't tell you most of the time is when you're that young, people fucking forget about shit that happened like that. Like literally, like I think a day or two later, they're like, "What happened?" Nobody remembers because we're all young and dumb.
That's funny.
But that's my not all here moment.
Dude, at my school, we used to play football every single morning as a kid with a soda bottle. So someone would have to go get a soda, drink the soda, and then we would use the soda bottle as the football.
That's
every
hilarious.
Morning. Yep.
Yeah, it's so funny how what is it? Adaptable kids are like, we'll use a bottle. That's
every
the
morning.
Football.
Every morning.
Y'all would throw it too?
That was the football.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all would actually would it even go far, or y'all had to like put some rocks in it or something?
I don't remember. Maybe it was full of liquid, or did we empty it? I don't remember.
Water or something to give it weight so you could throw it.
I don't remember, yo.
Because I feel like if it's super empty, the wind would take it away.
Right.
But that's funny.
So my not all here moment, it's not long, but
okay.
Basically my nan, my grandma, she was not a good driver. So okay. One day I remember I was a kid, and we were sitting at a red light, and she looked over at me and she said, "Don't tell anyone this." And then she just drove straight through the red light.
Wow.
But there was nobody there. It was like 8 or 9 at night, and she was just like, "I'm just going through this red light." So my nan would sometimes go through red lights. If there was nobody around, she would just drive through it. And then another day, and you know, I was a kid when these happened. She used to drive through like parking lots, you know, like giant parking lots like Walmart or Kmart. She would just drive through them like diagonally. And I'm just like, and I even knew as a kid, I was like, "Yo, this isn't safe. Like, don't do this." Like,
your symptoms were like,
I'm like, "Yo," and I talked to her about it. She's like, "No, it's fine. Don't worry. I know." Bro, one day she hit a shopping cart, like full on. Like, I'm not talking about like tapped it.
Yeah,
I'm talking about she was going like 30 miles an hour.
Wow.
You know, 20 or 30. There was a shopping cart right there, and just bam, she just knocked the shit out of it.
Wow.
And then we just kept it moving.
That's wild.
Yep.
That's hilarious. And you were like, "I'm never getting in the car again," but you had to.
Yeah, you had to.
Yo, that's just hilarious. Yep. I think my grandma was kind of like the same way. She was just like, we got to get to church. And she would just, take off and shit. And I'd be like, this don't feel good at all. Mm-hmm. I remember, how did you learn to drive real quick? How did you learn to drive?
So there was a car at my house that no one used. And, at my house, we have like a lot of land. So I could drive in this field.
Oh, okay.
And I would even sometimes do donuts and go fast and just drive in this field.
That's funny. Cause I remember like my mom, she taught me how to drive. And then like, kind of like us, we live on the outskirts of the city. So it's a little country, but not quite fully there. Yeah. And so we would have like these back roads that we could just take. And like, there was never any cops. There was never anybody like back there at all. But it was just like, you could still go there to this day. And like there's like just big ass farmland, big ass, and so we would just take this one little back road, and she would teach us and shit. That, and then also we had a go-kart, playing video games and shit. That's how.
Yeah, I mean we had my dad had a golf cart, and we had a 4-wheeler, so I was driving those before I ever drove a car. So
you already had an idea.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny. I remember the first time I ever took a driving test, I failed it.
Me too. I failed.
It's funny. The reason why I failed it though was because I drove to the driving test because my mom told me, and then the guy who was going to give me a test saw me from the window and
you drove like, to the driving test.
Yeah, and he was like, you failed this test. You're not supposed to drive here. And then my mom got upset at him. She was like, what the fuck you mean? How that? Blah blah. And he was like, nah, he shouldn't drive here. And then I had to wait like a week to take it again. And I was like, you bitch.
I failed mine on parallel parking.
Man, and that's so funny. I know how to parallel park. It's actually, I will say initially it was hard, but now like I'm like, oh yeah, it's easy.
As an adult, I'm still not comfortable with it. I don't want to do it. I'm from the country. We don't need to do that.
Maybe it's happening now. Cars will be able to do it themselves. You can just press a button.
Elon, I'm buying a Tesla. When Doge hits the moon, I'm buying a Tesla.
Somebody said that too. I heard that like, Elon, if Doge hits $1, I'm gonna buy myself a Tesla.
I'm buying a Tesla.
I'm gonna reinvest into the company.
There we go.
But anyway, man, that's the episode 15 of the Not All Here podcast, man. Real quick, if you guys, whatever you listen to us on the podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts, make sure to subscribe to us. Give us a review. It helps push the podcast out. If you're on Spotify, make sure you follow us. Follow the Instagram, Not All Here podcast, right? Not All Here? Yeah, yes. Not All Here podcast on Instagram. Our personal ones, you got Cool Ass People, Cool ASSPPL. Mine is It's Easy L spelled ELL. Jetty?
JRB, the producer, on all platforms, whatever platform you like. If you have weird fantasies, keep them to yourself. Don't DM it.
Keep them to yourself, or just don't put that shit out there. Yeah. Or, because that's between you and whoever you're with.
Just don't do it.
Oh Lord. But anyway, man, we're gonna catch you on the next one, and we'll see on the next episode who was right about who won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, congratulations, Chiefs.
It's funny, if we start the podcast, I'm like, you jinxed them, bro. But anyway,
I'm sorry, Mahomes.
All right, man, we'll catch you on the next one.
Yep.